Imagine a hot summer day turning into your worst nightmare, as happened on July 15, 1976, in the small town of Chowchilla, California. Nestled in the heart of the Golden State and known for its tranquil charm, this tight-knit community was about to be shaken to its core. That fateful day started like any other. The sun was shining, kids were playing, and the local school bus was making its usual rounds. But as the day wore on, a sense of unease began to creep in. The school bus, which should have been safely back at the school, was nowhere to be found. Little did anyone know, the bus carrying 26 innocent children and their driver had been hijacked by 3 armed men. These weren't ordinary criminals, mind you. These men had meticulously planned their horrifying act down to the last detail, turning a routine ride home into an unimaginable nightmare. The trio was led by a man named Frederick Newhall Woods. He, along with his accomplices, brothers Richard and James Schoenfeld, had been plotting their chilling scheme for over a year and a half. Their motive? A handsome ransom. They believed that by kidnapping the children of Chowchilla, many of whom came from wealthy families, they could demand a staggering amount of money in return for their safety. Such a heinous crime was unthinkable, especially in a peaceful town like Chowchilla. Yet, under the searing summer sun, the unthinkable had indeed become a reality. The school bus, usually a symbol of safety, had been transformed into a vehicle of terror. And as the hours ticked by, the whereabouts of the kidnapped children and their bus driver remained a terrifying mystery. The audacious crime sent shockwaves through the community, the state, and the entire country. It highlighted the fragility of safety and the lengths some people will go to fulfill their nefarious desires. An ordinary day became a chilling memory that would haunt the victims and the town of Chowchilla forever. In the blink of an eye, the school bus turned into a prison on wheels. The once familiar and comforting vehicle now symbolized a horrifying ordeal. The children and their bus driver were thrust into a nightmare that would forever be etched in their minds. Their innocence was stolen as they were ripped away from the safety of their daily routine and thrown into an abyss of terror. The captors, ruthless and cold, drove the frightened victims around for what felt like an eternity. 11 excruciating hours passed as they were shuttled between 2 vans, their destination unknown. Imagine the terror coursing through their veins, the uncertainty clouding their minds, the once cheerful chatter of schoolchildren replaced by the deafening silence of fear. Their journey ended at a quarry in Livermore, California, but their ordeal was far from over. The captors had prepared a grave of sorts, a buried moving van, cold and dark, deep within the bowels of the earth. The children and their bus driver were forced into this makeshift tomb, their pleas for mercy falling on deaf ears. The doors were sealed shut, the only sound being the cruel laughter of their captors and the muffled sobs of the victims echoing off the metal walls. Imagine the darkness, the cold, the claustrophobic fear. The air, thin and stale, filled their lungs as they huddled together, their tiny hearts pounding like a drum. The horrifying realization of being buried alive, their fate uncertain, was a terror beyond comprehension. Every moment was a battle against panic, against despair, against the chilling prospect of never seeing the light of day again. The children, their faces streaked with tears, clung to each other. Their bus driver, Ed Ray, was their only beacon of hope in this grim scenario. The victims, united in their fear, began to pray for a miracle. Fear and despair filled the air as the victims were buried alive, their fate uncertain. In the face of fear, the human spirit often rises, showing incredible resilience and courage. And such was the case in the chilling Chowchilla kidnapping. Amidst the horror, emerged heroes, the bus driver Ed Ray, and a few older children, who would not let their fate be decided by their captors. Ensnared in a buried van, they found themselves in a terrifying predicament. But instead of succumbing to despair, they harnessed their collective strength and embarked on a daring escape plan. For 16 grueling hours they dug using their bare hands and whatever they could find in the van. Their hands were raw, their bodies exhausted, but their spirits remained unbroken. The passage of time was a blur, the air was stuffy, and the conditions were inhumane. Yet their will to survive was stronger than any obstacle they faced. They worked in shifts, the older ones taking the lead, while the younger ones rested. Ed Ray, despite his own fear, became the beacon of hope, encouraging the children, keeping their spirits high and ensuring they never lost sight of their goal: freedom. And then, finally, a breakthrough. They managed to pry open the van's roof. The first breath of fresh air was like a balm to their weary souls. Emerging from the confines of the van, they found themselves in the dead of night, in an unfamiliar landscape. But they were free. Their resolve had paid off. Upon reaching the nearest town, they sounded the alarm. The news of their escape spread like wildfire, triggering an immediate rescue operation. As dawn broke, the sight of police cars and ambulances filled their hearts with relief. They were safe. They were going home. Their ordeal was over, but their story was far from it. Their heroic escape from the clutches of their kidnappers was a testament to their bravery and resilience. Against all odds, they managed to escape, turning what could have been a tragic ending into a tale of survival and bravery. The nightmare was over, but the pursuit of justice was just beginning. The Chowchilla kidnapping stirred law enforcement into a frenzy of activity. The manhunt that followed was exhaustive, reaching every corner of the nation. As the pieces of the puzzle began to align, the trail led authorities to three men, Frederick Newhall Woods and brothers Richard and James Schoenfeld. Their motive, a ransom plot gone awry. The trial that ensued was a spectacle, an unnerving display of the audacity of crime. The three men were charged and found guilty of kidnapping for ransom and robbery. The sentences they received were severe. Woods and the Schoenfeld brothers were given life sentences without the possibility of parole, a testament to the gravity of their crimes. Yet, the story doesn't end with the gavel's last echo in the courtroom. The psychological impact on the victims, the 26 children and their bus driver, was profound. Nightmares, panic attacks, and a perpetual sense of fear became their unwanted companions. But as time passed, they found strength in their shared experience. Many sought therapy and found solace in their tight-knit community, their resilience a beacon of hope in the aftermath of such a harrowing ordeal. The town of Chowchilla, too, was forever changed. The innocence of this small, close-knit community was shattered. Parents held their children a little tighter, schools bolstered their security, and the town as a whole became more vigilant. Yet, amidst the fear and the change, the spirit of Chowchilla endured. The community rallied together, their solidarity a testament to their resilience. Justice was served, but the echoes of the Chowchilla kidnapping continued to resonate, reminding us of the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. Like for more intriguing stories like this. And as always, thank you so much for watching.